Hey everybody, welcome back to Smart Stat Effects. It's really good to have you here. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss out on these long chats where we get real about trading, no sugarcoating, no hype, just the honest truth about what this journey is really like. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, maybe even open your charts, because today we're going to talk about something that nobody really prepared me for when I started trading: confidence. And more importantly, how to build it, protect it, and avoid letting it turn into that dangerous thing called overconfidence. You know, if you've been around the Forex world for a while, or even if you're brand new, you've probably already felt how fragile your confidence can be. One minute you're on top of the world after a string of winning trades, the next you're questioning whether you even know what a candlestick is. Trust me, I've been there more times than I can count. And that's exactly why I wanted to sit down today and share not just tips, but actual stories and lessons from my own journey. Because confidence isn't something you just switch on. It's something you build brick by brick. And sometimes you tear it down by accident and have to rebuild it all over again. So let's get into it. Let's start by talking about why confidence is such a big deal in trading in the first place. When I started out, I didn't really think about confidence at all. I thought, all I need is the right system. If I have the perfect strategy, I'll never doubt myself. I still remember that day. I just had to laugh at myself later. Because here's what happens. Even if you have a system that works over the long run, you're going to have losing trades. There is no way around it. And when those losses start piling up, even if you're doing everything correctly, you'll find your confidence starts to wobble. You begin second-guessing yourself, hesitating to pull the trigger on good setups, or worse, jumping into bad setups just to make back what you lost. That's the paradox. You need confidence to follow your plan consistently, but you can't let your ego inflate and tell you you're invincible. Have you ever felt that feeling where you hesitate on a trade that checks all your boxes because you're worried it'll be another loss? Or the opposite, when you've had a couple of wins in a row and you feel like you're untouchable, and you start taking trades you'd never touch on a normal day. That's why confidence is the bedrock of trading psychology. Not because it makes you cocky, but because it lets you trust your process and keep your head clear when emotions start to flare up. Let's dig into this, because this distinction alone has saved me a lot of heartache. Healthy confidence is that quiet voice that says, I trust my process, I've tested my system, I know my risk. Overconfidence is that loud voice that says, I can't lose, let's double my position size, I'm on fire. I still remember this time. I'd had a fantastic week. I think I was up like 12% in 5 days. And I thought, I'm finally getting it. This is it. And you know what I did? I ignored my risk management rules. Because clearly I was special. Clearly, I'd leveled up. Well, you can probably guess how that ended. In one trade, just one, I wiped out most of those gains. I wish I could say that was the only time it happened, but it wasn't. Overconfidence sneaks in when you least expect it. It can look like enthusiasm, but it's actually just your ego trying to grab the wheel. Healthy confidence is quieter. It's almost boring. It's showing up every day, doing the same things, accepting that some days will be red, some will be green, and not letting either extreme dictate your decisions. If you can get to that place, where you respect your plan more than your emotions, you've already won half the battle. Now let's talk about losing streaks, because they happen to everyone. In my first year, I remember thinking that if I had more than 3 losing trades in a row, it meant my strategy was broken, or worse, that I was broken. It felt personal, like the market was out to get me. Have you ever had that moment where you're staring at your screen thinking, what is wrong with me? Like somehow you're cursed. Those losing streaks are brutal on your confidence. And if you don't have some kind of system for putting them in perspective, they'll eat you alive. What helped me was journaling. Every time I closed a trade, I wrote down what I did, why I did it, and, this is key, whether I followed my plan. You'd be amazed how often you're doing everything right, but still losing trades. That's normal. But if you're not tracking your process, you start thinking every loss is a personal failure. I also started to keep a little log of my emotions, because sometimes you'll notice patterns in your mindset that are even more important than the patterns on your chart. I'd see entries in my journal like, feeling frustrated, forced this trade, feeling invincible, took too much risk, feeling scared, skipped good setups. It's humbling, but it's also freeing, because you start to realize you're not alone. Every trader has these moments. I want to share exactly how I went from doubting every move I made to trusting my decisions. Most days, anyway. First, I stopped focusing on outcomes. I know that sounds counterintuitive because we all want to win. But the truth is, you can do everything right and still lose a trade. Instead, I started to grade myself on process. Did I follow my rules? Did I respect my risk management? Did I enter and exit based on my plan, not my emotions? The more I focused on that, the more I realized that consistency builds confidence far more than any single winning trade ever could. I also started doing weekly reviews. I'd look back over all my trades and look for patterns. I'd ask myself, where did I feel most uncertain? What decisions felt forced? And you know what else helped? Taking breaks. When you're in a losing streak, your instinct is to double down, to force a win to feel better. But usually the best thing you can do is step away, clear your head, and come back with fresh eyes. If I had to sum up what really rebuilt my confidence over time, it's this combination: mindset, journaling, and risk management. Mindset keeps you steady when the market is unpredictable. Journaling gives you a mirror to see your behavior clearly. And risk management makes sure you never lose so much that you can't come back. It sounds simple, but it's not easy. I remember nights where I'd look at my journal and think, am I ever going to get this right? But those nights were when the real growth happened. Let me tell you, at the time, I was so sure I'd found the perfect setup. I literally went in with 5 times my normal risk. I wish I could tell you it worked out, but of course, it didn't. I hit my stop loss in 15 minutes, and it wiped out a month's worth of steady gains. I was sick to my stomach. On the flip side, there were days when I had great setups, but I was so shaken from previous losses that I either cut winners short or didn't take them at all. Both extremes, overconfidence and self-doubt, will sabotage you if you let them. And the only cure I found is having a solid plan, journaling honestly, and giving yourself permission to be human. So let's say you've had that horrible day, the one where you broke your rules, took a huge loss, and feel like you can't even look at your chart without wanting to delete your trading account forever. First of all, breathe. I've been there more than once. And here's what I learned. You cannot rebuild confidence overnight. You can't just slap on a motivational quote and feel okay. You have to work your way back, one small decision at a time. What helped me the most was stepping away for a day or two. Sometimes I'd just take a walk, or literally unplug my computer. I know it sounds silly, but when you're in that panicked headspace, the last thing you need is more screen time. Then, when I was calm, I'd go back through the trade, not to beat myself up, but to learn. Did I follow my plan? If not, why? What was I feeling before I entered? It's humbling to realize most big losses come down to emotions, not the market. Once I'd done my postmortem, I'd get back to basics. Smaller position sizes, tighter stops, just proving to myself that I could stick to my process again. Every time I did that, I felt my confidence slowly returning. Not because I was winning, but because I was being consistent. Let's be real. If you're new to trading, you might be feeling overwhelmed right now. Like, how am I ever going to master all this? I want you to hear me when I say, you are not alone. Everyone you see who's successful went through these exact same struggles. We all blew accounts. We all doubted ourselves. We all felt that pit in our stomachs when you clicked buy or sell. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to feel unsure. Trading is hard because it forces you to face yourself in ways most people never have to. But if you stick with it, if you keep learning, journaling, practicing good risk management, you'll be amazed how your confidence grows. One day, you'll look back and think, wow, I can't believe how far I've come. And you'll realize all those setbacks were just part of the process. A lot of people think confidence is about feeling great all the time, like some Tony Robbins thing, where you're always pumped up and positive. But real confidence in trading is quiet. It's discipline. It's showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, and doing the same thing over and over because you know it works over the long term. It's trusting that your system doesn't need to be exciting to be effective. Consistency is what creates confidence, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel confident to start taking disciplined action. You take disciplined action first, and confidence follows. I still have days where I hesitate, or second guess, or feel that old urge to revenge trade. The difference now is, I have habits in place to keep me steady. Let me share one more story with you. There was a time early on when I literally swore off trading forever. I'd had this string of losses. I was exhausted, and I told myself, I'm just not cut out for this. A week later, I felt this pull. I couldn't stop thinking about trading. I missed it. I missed the challenge, the puzzle of the markets. So I came back. But I came back different. I decided I would trade as if I was managing $1 million fund. Even though my account was nowhere near that big, that mindset shift was huge. Suddenly I cared more about protecting capital and following rules than chasing a quick win. And you know what? That was the first time my equity curve started to go consistently up. Not because I had some magical new strategy, but because I finally respected the process enough to stop letting my emotions take over. If you've lost confidence, here are some things that help me rebuild it. Start small, like really small. Trade tiny positions until you feel calm again. Set daily goals that have nothing to do with profit. For example, today, I will only take trades that meet all my criteria, or I will journal every trade. Talk to other traders. It's amazing how much relief you feel when someone says, I've been there too. Remember, confidence is a skill. Just like reading a chart, you can train it.
Let me ask you, have you ever felt like you were the only one struggling with this? If so, drop a comment below. I promise you'll see how many people are in the exact same boat. And if you're watching this far, you're already proving to yourself that you care enough to get better. That alone is worth something. So, to bring this all together, confidence matters because it keeps you steady when everything feels uncertain. Overconfidence will wreck you just as fast as self-doubt. Losing streaks are normal. They don't define you. Process beats outcome every single time. Journaling, mindset work, and risk management are your best friends. And you are absolutely capable of building the kind of quiet, steady confidence that will carry you through anything. I know it because I've done it and I'm still doing it every day. All right, my friends, if you stuck around this long, first of all, you deserve a medal. Seriously though, thank you for spending this time with me. I hope this conversation gave you something real to hold on to, something you can take back to your own trading journey. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and share your own story in the comments. I read every single one, and I love hearing how you're navigating this wild ride. And if you're ready to keep growing with me, check out the next video I've linked here. It's all about how to create a trading plan that actually works for your personality and your goals. You're not alone. We're all in this together. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next one.